Welcome to Better Not.
On today's episode, we're talking about frisbees. We're talking about conspiracies and Will falling on his head.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Better Not. I'm Will.
And I'm Zach.
And this is the show where two coworkers bet beers on topics you can easily Google the answer for. And the winners get beers.
Yes.
Cheers. Let's start
Prost.
this episode.
Yeah.
Yums. Okay. So, Zach.
Yes.
Was it last episode? I think it was the last episode that we were talking about your shirt that had a skateboard on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said that I don't think that the board is the earliest skateboard. That plank of wood. And I don't think it is. There's no way, like a plank of wood with wheels. How is that the first skateboard?
It's literally called a skateboard. What else would they make it out of?
So I'm from Georgia. For the listeners and the viewers,
Where they don't have skateboards.
Where they do have skateboards, but like I actually didn't grow up skating. My friends did, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about it.
So what do you envision then? If you think that it wasn't a board strapped to some skates, what do you think it was?
What do I think the first skateboard was? Like the first frisbee was a plate, right?
I have no idea. Was it?
Do we need a frisbee episode?
I think we can put that in here.
The first frisbee I think was a plate, and they were like tossing it or something like that.
I think the first frisbee was one of those Pringle container tops.
No, those aren't that old.
No?
No.
You think the frisbee's older than Pringles?
Do I think the frisbee's older than Pringles? We're already setting up a whole.
This is actually a great segue into what I kind of wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Chips. I want to talk about chips.
You want to talk about chips within this episode?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if did you hear that we're now required to wear masks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so California has
yeah.
lost the rocker and is becoming this communist state that's requiring everyone. Yes, they're requiring. Dude, you can't leave your house. You can't
You can leave your house.
Okay, well, this is what they've done. They've started with you can't leave your house.
Okay.
Unless you have a reason.
Yeah.
And then now they're saying you can't leave your house without a mask.
Okay.
I think they're going to be chipping us. They're testing the waters.
I actually would argue against that because they just denied facial recognition. San Francisco banned it, and probably our whole state's going to ban it.
Really?
Yeah. So I think, yes, there are some things for public health reasons that we need to do, but I think the world isn't ready for facial recognition, or that facial recognition is too powerful.
Okay, but what's that have to do with the chip?
Well, the chip is on the same plane as facial recognition, where it's an immediate recognized thing. Okay. So like an immediate ID. Mm-hmm. That's what facial recognition is. We're worried about that too, where, similar to all this, all these, like the Black Lives Matter movement and all these movements right now is like discrimination, right?
Okay.
Discrimination and racism. So with facial recognition, specifically that it's not recognizing black faces as well as white faces. And there tends to be like, if you can...
Wait, hang on. Okay. It doesn't recognize black faces. Why?
So it's something like 80% that it recognizes like 80% of white people, like, which is a pretty good number. Okay. But then something like really low, like 20 to 30% of black people's faces.
Dude, that's
like really low.
Really lucky.
Well, it's lucky, but then also you can see like already there's like possibly a racial bias within this. And then I think
so they would think that it was somebody else or something?
Yeah. Okay. You could easily think it's somebody else.
And the cure for that would be the chip.
But then the chip is the same thing as like if someone who has racial bias is operating the other side, right? The chip is there's my ID, whatever. But it's more so like the people on the other side, the people in power, or the people that are reading this, or the people like the police officers and whatnot, giving them that power has led currently to a lot of issues, whether you think so or not. But like like whether people think so or not, there's already concern like in the community. So like, I think the chip, it either isn't going to happen anytime soon, or like it's going to look not like a universal ID, you know?
I think it's going to happen in our generation.
I could see that.
I think they're leading up to it. And what made me think of this earlier was, I just went to Costco before I came over here, and I was gonna get some beer, and they had to scan my ID. And why are they scanning my ID?
I don't know what California's policies are on scanning IDs. There's been a barcode thing on IDs forever.
So are they tracking that, or?
I don't really know. Yeah, I actually don't know what that barcode is. I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Can we take a side tangent off of skateboards?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're pretty far from skateboards. We're pretty far from skateboards.
What is the bar? It's not a barcode. It's a film tape.
No, it's a.
What do they call that? Code strip. What do you call?
Barcode?
It's not a barcode. It's a bar. It's a magnetic strip.
No, it's this or it's that right there.
Well, there's that, and then this. That's like a credit card. Why is that there?
I don't know.
That's what I mean.
Can you put money on here?
I don't know.
But then there's also this. But they scanned that. I'm pretty sure.
They don't swipe it? I thought they swiped it.
No, he scanned it.
I've seen people swipe it too, though.
Oh, that's probably what the swiper is for.
But what does that mean? Well, you could even argue that we already have universal IDs in our cell phones. All of our cell phone has all of our information. A lot of people put their credit card information on there. They're starting to let you scan your ID into your cell phone.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see. Barcodes are ubiquitous. It says it just increases the ID card security, as well as storing information.
Oh, stores information.
Storing information like a serial code or a security number. So like it's verifying that it's real. So like that's what it is. The scan is not necessarily like we're going to track your information, which who knows if they are or not, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure it would not surprise me.
It would not surprise me either. But yeah, so it's like verifying that it's real.
Okay.
Because they have all the things on it that are like hidden and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I think that's another layer that they can like scan it with a database.
In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they were tracking what you were buying and then selling it to the alcohol companies just for like marketing purposes.
Yeah. I feel like all information these days is selling and getting rid of it. And yeah. Okay, well, that's a mystery solved.
Yeah.
Wow. We're learning a lot on this episode already, and we haven't even talked about skateboards.
I know.
Wait, let me write that down. Well, I mean, since we're still on tangents, what about a Frisbee?
Yeah. Did the Frisbee come before Pringles? Let's make a bet. You want to bet on that?
Okay, mini bet. Let's mini bet.
I think Pringles came before the Frisbee.
100% it did not.
Okay.
Mini bet.
Mini bet time. Isn't that what you play?
All right, Frisbee origins. Let's see. Hey, why don't you look up Pringles origins while I'm looking this up? Do you have your phone with you?
Yeah. I was going to try to see if you would notice me not pulling out my phone for this episode, but you already noticed.
And I do all the Googling?
Yeah.
That's so mean. Everyone's just watching me on YouTube, just like Googling this whole time. You're just sitting there enjoying it. Okay. What'd you find?
I haven't even typed anything yet. I've got so many darn screens open on my phone.
Okay. Well, I'll go. January 23rd, 1957, the Wham-O toy company rolled out the first batch of their aerodynamic plastic discs, known as Frisbees. The story of Frisbee began where William Frisbee opened Frisbee Pie Company in 1871. Students nearby universities would throw the empty pie tins to each other, yelling Frisbee. In 1948, Walter Frederick Morrison and Warren Francesconi invented a plastic version of the disc. So they've been throwing those discs around since 1871, but it wasn't official until 1957.
You won.
Pringles is new, right? That's like
67.
60s. That's
Yeah.
older than I thought.
I thought it was going to be way older than that.
Any story about it? Anything going on there?
Yeah. Procter and Gamble
Okay.
created it.
Classic.
It was marketed as Pringles Newfangled Potato Chips.
Okay. Newfangled.
Yep.
Were they the same shape that they are now?
That's a good question. It says the brand sold to Kellogg's in 2012. As 2011, Pringles are sold in more than 140 countries.
It probably is.
It doesn't say about anything about them changing their shape. Let's see here.
Well, I won that mini bet. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take my hydro chip.
All right.
We need to.
You
Now
take
that we're
your
doing
hydro
like
chip and you run with it.
you take that and run with it. Well, now that
Before
we're
you lose
doing YouTube, we should have some like physical hydro chips.
Yes.
This is the time.
This.
This is the time.
Yeah. I mean,
I've been dying to start our hydro chips.
we've got literally nothing else to do.
I know. I should.
So-
I should like whittle them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just spend a bunch of time whittling my own hydro chips.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, by the way, I know I told you earlier, but for the listeners, I started building my shed.
You did start building your
Yes.
shed.
And actually, I can just send you the picture. And
Send me a picture and
Yeah.
I'll post it on the video
Cool.
and in our gram.
yeah. So I was planning on building I think it was going to be 10 by 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it all laid down and it's like 5 by 10. So I'm like,
That's a lot
it's going to be
smaller.
way smaller than I thought. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, that's better
So-
than nothing.
Yeah, and I was thinking when I measured it, I measured all the way against the house. But then when I started building it, I was like, or laying everything out, I was like, I really need to have some space in between the house so I can walk back there in case there's something that happens, to the house.
Gopher.
Yeah,
or a little
something
rabbit.
Yeah, something
It's
happens.
trapped back there. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
kid.
it- Kid,
Yeah,
children,
Yeah.
neighbors, or your own. Can we do a little bit of housekeeping before we get into this topic?
sure.
All right. Well,
Wait, are you gonna have me clean your house right now?
I need you. This is a mess. It actually kind of is a mess. I feel like our angles for the cameras are not seeing how much of a mess is in here. Like when we went
Do you really want me to clean?
Yeah. Can you, I got the vacuum right there.
Okay.
No, so those like posts are from did I tell you about
yeah.
that? We got the wrong posts and they wouldn't take them back because IKEA wasn't open.
Oh no.
So like we had to take those. We couldn't return them
Where'd you get those from?
from IKEA. Like when we went down to IKEA, we accidentally ordered these posts, which are like 60 inches and we needed 80 inches.
Oh, okay.
So when we were there, he was like, we can't take returns, but you can buy the other ones and bring these back within a year.
Why
But we-
couldn't they do returns? Because you touched it?
Well, no, because it was like closed for COVID stuff.
Oh.
But we drove all the way down to LA, 3.5 hours.
But they had like curbside pickup or
yeah,
something?
curbside
Okay.
pickup.
All right.
And they brought these out and they were like, that's too short. And so he was like, you can just order the other ones, bring these back when you can.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I'll drive 4 hours to bring these back to you.
It's ridiculous.
I guess next time I'm down, I got to bring those.
Yeah.
But now I had these giant posts. Like, I don't know what to do with them.
I'd put them under your bed.
I got guitars under my bed,
Ooh,
guitar cases.
okay.
Yeah.
I
think they're going right there.
Yeah. Looks like a good spot to me.
Yeah. Well, okay. So some housekeeping.
Okay.
We have more listeners now. Can
Sweet.
you believe that?
Awesome.
We were steady for a little while, and now we have more listeners.
Okay. Cool.
I think we have 60 listeners on our very first podcast.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
That's crazy. So
people are still listening to the beginning?
I think, especially on a podcast as new as ours,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times when people discover it, they go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Right. So if you're listening to this episode right now, this is a lot better than the first episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people want to like start from the beginning and catch on up to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of, guess what?
what?
We finally finished 90210.
Oh my gosh. What kind of tangent is this?
Dude, so good.
Beverly
They
Hills Cop
freaking got
902.
married at the end.
You're spoiling it.
Well,
Isn't that a really old
I
show?
didn't say who it was. Yeah, it was started in the 90s, I think.
Mm.
Like 1990. And then they did a reunion special feature. Oh, so good. Oh my gosh. I had some tears coming out of my eyes. I'm not going to lie.
Have you started watching the redo or remake?
No, I
or-
haven't. we we recorded all the episodes except for the first one.
Yeah.
And now we can't find the first one anywhere. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that. But
Oh, I know what you mean. That sucks.
yeah,
It's probably on one of the streaming services.
yeah, I have to look around a little bit.
Yeah.
But-
I bet it's somewhere. Probably like Hulu or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you got me off my track.
Okay.
Okay, well, welcome, welcome YouTube.
Welcome to the Better Not Podcast.
Let's just start over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hey, you're watching us on YouTube right now, or listening to us.
Mhm.
But did you know we have YouTube? We have YouTube. Look at these cameras. That's great.
Yeah.
So
You're doing a great job at that. I've heard
know,
many compliments.
many compliments.
Yes.
People
Just like many bets.
many bets of many compliments. Well, people are finding us on there. I'm trying to work hard to spread the word. And if you're a subscriber, we have 9 subscribers.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Cool.
Like, again, like 5 of those are me.
Yeah.
Same with the numbers on the podcast. But if you find us on YouTube, or if you're listening now, go find us on YouTube. Just at least subscribe. Say hey. Say hey if you like the episode. That's a great place to like comment directly on the episode.
So I don't have an account with YouTube.
Okay.
So what actually happens when you subscribe? So is it like
do you
it like the podcast? Like it downloads automatically?
No, it doesn't download automatically. Do you have a Gmail?
Yeah.
So you do have a YouTube, but it's not like a channel.
Okay.
So like you can go to YouTube and say stuff on there with your
Oh.
Google account.
Talk crap.
Yeah, and this is the same with everyone. You don't need a YouTube account. Just if you have a Google Gmail account, you go on YouTube, and you're probably already doing this because everyone goes on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's automatically logging you on. But yeah, just say something in the comments there. It goes a long way for getting us like seen in the YouTube worlds.
Okay.
How
many worlds are there in YouTube?
There's several worlds. Apparently, YouTube reaches 2 billion people
Really?
in the world.
2 billion.
2 billion, and it is the largest streaming platform.
Okay.
Like a music streaming platform.
Okay.
Audio streaming.
Oh, really?
Isn't that crazy?
Interesting.
So it's bigger than like Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, find us on YouTube. It's like what we're doing, like a lot of work there. And I'm trying to put some of the visuals in there. I put in the Kindergarten Cop clip that we watched.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely trying to step up our game on the YouTubes. So
All right.
head over there. And if you are into the YouTube stuff and you join our Patreon, I'm dropping
The cost? Are you finally dropping the cost of the Patreon?
it's $5.
Well, what are you dropping?
I didn't finish my statement.
Sorry.
The Patreon's just $5. I don't want to do a lower number because that's just too low.
Okay.
Because
I was like,
well-
he's finally doing it.
no, Patreon takes something like 10% or something like that. So if it was $1, we'd only get
They're still taking 10%.
oh, 10% of $5 is way better than 10% of $1.
Well, you're thinking of it the wrong way. You get more people for $1, and then eventually you get the same amount of money.
Eventually,
and they still take 10%.
you need 5x that amount of people.
If you have 50 Patreon members versus 10, you're still
people
going
aren't
$5.
people aren't
to-
joining. You should join for $5, and let me tell you what you get. Let me tell you
a
what you get.
hand whittled hydro token.
No, not yet. But I want to make hydro tokens. We just need a little bit of capital before we buy those.
Okay.
But eventually, I do want to give out a pack of those for free for our patrons.
Yeah.
But I can't do that until we have some money flowing in.
I wonder if there's anybody that makes Pogs still.
Yeah, there are. I looked it up. We looked it up. We were
Did we?
looking this up. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thought I just
I
had
did
a
way too
brilliant
much
idea
research
right
on
now.
this. No, I did way too much research on it back when we were talking about, even before making the podcast.
Oh, really?
I was like, man, we should have our own hydro chips. They weren't hydro chips at that time.
Yeah.
They were tokens.
Yeah.
Beer tokens.
Beer tokens.
Wow, that's so much lamer than hydro tokens. Or hydro chips.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you what you get. If you join Patreon, you've already been listening. Looks like 20 minutes. Sorry, I'm doing a Patreon plug in the middle. We're putting our YouTube episodes. It's because I have a new announcement. We're putting our YouTube episodes early on Patreon. So if you joined this past week,
Oh, okay.
you could see the past 2 episodes 1 to 2 weeks early.
Oh,
depending
sweet.
on how fast I can get them up there.
Yeah.
But you're getting the content early, which is awesome. And you're getting like access before it's even public. I think you can comment on there too and like say stuff and tell us how we're doing on there, and you can communicate through us through Patreon. And we will listen to the comments and stuff on Patreon, and it'll help shape the show.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. What's our email again?
Our email is betternotpodcast@gmail.com.
You sure about that?
You're making me second guess myself. Yeah, betternotpodcast@gmail.com.
Okay. Listeners, if you would email us and let us know.
Email us at betternotpodcast, betternotpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you're willing to pay $1 versus $5, just drop an email. It only takes a second to drop an email.
You could tell us on any of the platforms, really.
Okay,
Facebook,
sure.
Instagram.
Yeah. I think listeners, just start convincing.
Would you rather pay $1
just
or
start
$5?
Get on my side. Start convincing Will to drop it down to $1.99, whatever, and then we'll know. If nobody emails us or leaves a comment, then maybe I'm just wrong.
Well, none of them are doing it, so.
Well, I mean, you haven't even posted this. They don't know to do it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They know to join. I say it every episode.
Yeah, but for $5.
You wouldn't do it for $5. Would you do it for $1? You wouldn't do it at all. You love your free content.
I was just thinking I should go on there and just like make a fake Patreon and not tell you that it's me. And start doing
That's a good idea. Donate to our own podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe people they see 0 on there and they don't think they can join.
It's like the empty guitar case when people are out there. You got to have a couple bucks in there for people to know that they're supposed to put.
Whoa, let's do that. All right, I'm going to join it. And you join it. And we'll pay ourselves $5 a month.
Okay.
And then people will see that there's 2 people in there.
Maybe that's it.
That's it. Okay. All right, enough prefacing.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's any other announcements. Anybody saying anything fun about the show? You got any?
What?
Anybody? You said some new people have started listening.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about 90210 still. Yeah, I just heard that they're really enjoying the YouTube.
Okay.
The quality's really good.
All right, enough tangents. Let's get back into the show.
Okay.
Skateboards. I seriously think that there must have been something else.
Don't you think that if it didn't start off as a board attached to a skate, that they would have called it something else?
So, was it like a 2x4?
I don't know. It was some kind of board.
Some kind of board.
Yeah.
There's no way. But what wheels were they?
They were skates.
They were skates.
Yeah.
Skate, like a single skate wheel on every corner?
No, it was double.
So there was like 2, 2, 2, 2?
Yeah,
or
like
4, 4,
how
4,
skates
4?
used to have 2 in the front and 2 in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like 4, 4, 4, 4. There was that many wheels?
No. They just took one skate and then they made a
They put the 2 in the front and the 2 in the back?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
100%.
I feel like that's not true.
I feel like this bet might as well have been is the sky blue. Like that's how obvious it is that I'm gonna win this bet.
I feel like we have a lot of California listeners, and I'm gonna get slammed for this.
You
one.
are, yeah.
Well, let's look it up.
All right,
Let's see if you're the winner.
cool.
And if you are the winner, I'll buy you a beer.
All right. Skateboard began in California in the 1950s when surfers wanted something to surf when the waves were flat. The first skateboard were nothing more than wooden boxes or boards with roller skate wheels attached to the bottom. Boom!
Wooden boxes is
Boom!
not a board.
Or boards. Or boards.
But what about the first ones? It says a wooden crate.
All right, pay up.
No, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Write in if you think I'm right or not.
This could not be. Okay. Is this going to be another rock, paper, scissors?
No, you're right. One of the comments on the YouTube, our last one, was like on the fish doctor one that I clearly won. It said Zach's right.
Right? See?
You're wrong. We looked it up.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're not going back to that episode because that.
All right, beer time.
All right,
let's go to beer corner.
Beer corner. Yeah. All right. See a silver can here. It's got California on it.
Beer corner. So if you're new to the podcast, what we do is whoever loses the bet has to buy the other one a beer. That's our bet or not. And today I lost, and I've got to give Zach a beer. So
Alvarado Citravesa Lager.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying the...
Where's this from?
From the grocery store.
Is the brewery called Alvarado?
Probably.
Oh, here, you talk about it.
Oh, okay. Beer. Well, I've been having fun going to the liquor store, and they've got like a section.
I've been having fun. I've been having some fun going to the liquor store.
Who doesn't like going to the liquor store? Yeah, I've been going to the liquor store, and they have a section in the front that's like just kind of exotic beers, and they're usually always in these like just like they're canning them themselves.
Oh, is this where you got the 327 or whatever?
Yeah, this is where I've gotten a lot of the beers recently.
Cool.
And it's kind of cool because I think they're like always different. They're always weird and new, and it's pretty cool. So
are you getting to know the guy that works there?
I'm not going that often.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
I should tell him about the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is Alvarado.
You need to go in there and go, you know why I'm buying this beer?
I want to tell you right now why I'm buying this beer.
He's going to be like, I don't want to know.
I should put it right in front of him and be like, do you know why I'm buying this?
Yeah.
Like look him in the eye and just be like, do you know?
See, I think we need to do this, and I'll be standing outside and recording you do it.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll wear a mic.
Kind of like the Taco Bell episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So I think this is Alvarado is the brand. And then I think Citravesa is the name. And then West Coast Lager is the type.
Okay.
That's what it seems like. Yeah. Alvarado Street Brewery.
Sweet.
So,
does it say where it's at?
Salinas. So pretty close.
Okay. I wonder, was that where the other place was? I feel like that was the 327.
I don't think it was Alvarado.
But I feel like it was Salinas also.
Oh. There's just so many breweries.
Yeah.
We'll never run out of beer to try. So really cool bottle.
Well, if this pandemic keeps happening, maybe.
So it's a really cool can. Creamy yellow. And then it's got California. It's got kind of a Big Sur coastline with
cool.
palm trees. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I like lagers, and I thought we'd try it.
Sweet.
Let's do it. You crack it.
All right.
As the winner. Excellent. Did you see that?
Woo! That thing stinks.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What? That smells like an IPA. No! It's a lager.
My gosh. I was watching Jersey Shore the other day, and they did a recap of when Angelina put her butt in the funfetti cake, and the situation goes, no, not the funfetti. I lost it, dude. It was so freaking hilarious.
I think I feel that way about funfetti.
Yeah.
Dude, this is so light and clear.
Yeah, it is.
It's like the clearest beer.
Yeah, that smells so strong. Oh.
All right, let's try.
I don't know if I can drink it.
It smells like a skunk.
All right.
We should talk about skunks. Oh. That's weird.
You know, it doesn't taste as hoppy as I thought it was going to be.
It tastes weird.
Does it taste weird to you?
I don't like that. I'm sorry, Alvarado Street Brewing
I'm
Company.
surprised that you're saying that because I'm like, as bad as it smelled, it tastes decent to me.
It tastes like there's a skunk in it. Just a dead skunk laying right in it. That tastes real bad. What do you think? Do you think so?
It's very light, but it doesn't taste that bad to me. It smells awful.
It smells so bad. It tastes like it's like foul.
Does it taste as bad as it smells to you?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
But don't they say that your nostrils, like the way that you smell, that sense helps your taste buds?
Probably. It must taste bad, and I just can't taste it because now I can't smell it.
Okay. Oh man, that's gonna.
Or maybe it's just the smell's wearing off now. It's been open.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it needs to aerate for a little bit. That's really bad. I don't like that at all.
Oh no, I wouldn't buy it again.
Definitely not. So good branding, bad beer.
Yeah. I really like the logo. The logo's super cool.
You did a good job.
Yeah.
You guys did a good job branding, but you might need to go back to beer school. Anyways, that's your beer.
Thank you.
Sorry, it sucks.
Yeah, sucks to suck,
Yeah, it's kind of expensive too
Was
to
it?
be sucking. Like $5.
Oh man, they saw you coming.
They-
That guy at the liquor store is like, finally,
They're like, that
getting
guy
rid of
likes
this beer.
He likes good art, and I'm gonna trick him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will slowly drink that beer throughout the course of this episode.
Yeah.
So, skateboards.
Skateboards. All right.
All right. So it sounds like you have a lot of knowledge on skateboards. Tell me about your history of boarding, skateboarding.
It all started back when I was a wee little
lad.
youngin.
Okay.
And so growing up, I lived on a block. So I'm an only child.
Mhm.
Lived on a block that had a lot of kids my age, and they're all boys. And so there was usually about 3 or 4 of us that would always hang out. We were constantly going from skateboarding to rollerblading, biking, just like constantly, getting in our phases or whatever.
Yeah.
And skateboarding for some reason just like stuck when we were in high school. And a lot of my buddies got longboards. We'd go out on the weekends. We'd go down this hill. It's called Lewis Hill. And it's about a 2-mile just downhill. And you can just carve back and forth. And we go at night sometimes. And we'd have somebody sit in my Volvo and just coast behind us with the
Nice.
lights on so we could see the road.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
crazy.
we just drive back up to the top and do it over again.
Awesome.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then, when I was going to college, rode my skateboard every day to school because the parking permits were ridiculous. They were like $500 for the year or something.
That's more than it was for college for me.
Yeah. And I lived across the street, so it was like maybe a mile skateboarding at the most.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I put probably 1,000 miles on that skateboard when I was going to college.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
So you're
Really
the
don't skateboard that much anymore though.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of far from the downtown now.
Yeah.
And then it's that highway. I wish there was a better way to get downtown. In
Yeah.
Tascadero.
I would like to get an electric skateboard.
Yeah.
Have you seen those one wheels?
I was gonna mention that throughout this episode. I want one of those really bad.
I just want to know somebody that has one so I could try it.
I have seen several college kids because I live right next to this college here.
Right.
Cruising around on them.
Yeah.
Now they're really expensive. Like the big one.
Are they?
The big one that goes like 16 miles.
Mhm.
That one has a big battery in it.
Okay.
And it's really cool though.
Yeah.
And everybody online and offline that I've talked to that has one or wants one or whatever loves them to death.
Really?
Like it is their jam. There's a few like YouTube people that I watch that they're like, they talk about it like every one. It's like not like a sports YouTube channel, but they were like, let me tell you about this one wheel because it's awesome.
Okay.
And then Adam Savage from Mythbusters,
Yeah.
he bought one
Oh, really?
and he's obsessed with them. And
Really?
I listen to their podcast
Uh-huh.
and he like brings it up all the time.
Wait, they have a podcast?
Yeah.
Are they?
It's not the Mythbusters podcast.
Okay.
It's a few years back, well, a lot of years back, probably like 6 to 8, when Mythbusters ended, he started a company called Tested,
Okay.
and they do various
Like reviews or something?
it sounds like a review thing, and they kind of do some reviews sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's more like a creator maker. They call it makers, which are like people that are creating stuff, but in all facets. So like,
So are they like, is it kind of like Shark Tank a little bit?
no, like they'll interview interesting makers that are making something. So like maybe they're making a costume for like a movie, or
Okay.
they've got a laser printer that they're printing wooden things. Like
Mhm.
I talked about to you once. They interviewed like Lego builders
Okay.
that are building interesting Lego stuff and interesting making technology.
Yeah.
So, and then they visited the One Wheel plant,
Okay.
which is in Santa Cruz.
Okay.
So those are what's cool about the One Wheels is they're USA
yeah.
made, and it's up in Santa Cruz.
That's awesome.
You can go you can pick it up from the factory if you wanted to. I
Okay.
think. Anyways, everyone talks about the One Wheels. I want one really bad. The big one is like $1,800. It's expensive,
really?
but they just came out with the pint, which is half the distance, smaller, which half the distance is like 7 or 8 miles,
Mhm.
which is still pretty good for Tascadero.
Yeah.
And even here, slow. But it's still like 700 to 800, I think.
Okay.
Maybe even 9.
Okay.
somewhere around there, which isn't that crazy.
I was gonna say the reason why I would rather have a regular skateboard though,
Yeah,
is because I feel like the one wheel you can't like put it like in a backpack or anything. Like because usually
it's pretty small.
if you're skating, and you're skating
gotcha.
somewhere, you take a backpack with you with your water, whatever. You can strap it to your backpack when you're done, and you can go into your store or wherever restaurant, wherever you're going.
Yeah.
The one wheel, I feel like it's just so bulky that you wouldn't be able to put it in a backpack or on a backpack.
The big size one is bulky, because it's pretty big, but the pint is really small.
Okay.
And it has a handle on the side.
Oh. Okay.
So it's like designed to be more portable.
Yeah.
I dig it. It's so cool.
Sweet.
It's really expensive though.
Yeah. Why don't they have places that rent them? Like, I just want to try one,
Have you looked that up
they have
before?
Stupid segways everywhere. No, I haven't looked it up.
I
Maybe there
wonder-
is a place that rents
I
them.
wonder if a bike shop has one.
Yeah.
Or I bet they would. Maybe there is somewhere that you can rent one.
Should we call K-Man right now and ask him?
No.
Why?
Sure, do it. Why not? Actually, a guy on the street, I stopped him. I said, I was like, "Whoa, that thing's so cool!" And he stopped and talked to me about it for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And he told me I could ride it right there. And
And you didn't?
I didn't have a helmet or anything.
What do you need a helmet
Okay,
for?
well,
you're 1 foot off the ground.
It's a skateboard.
It's like drowning in your bathtub.
I haven't skateboarded like you have. So, like, I'm not that experienced on a board.
So you're worried about falling on your head.
I'm worried about just falling in general.
Well,
Because
if
I don't
that's
know
the case,
how to ride.
you need gloves. You need.
Well,
I mean, to fall on your head, it's gonna. Like, how do you fall on your
Well,
head?
I asked him, I was like, what is the learning curve for it? And he said it took me a little bit. But like, it was his board, and I'm in the middle of the street, and I don't know how to, I've never ridden in anything really. So like, I'm going to hop on his board, his piece of like expensive equipment, and I'm going to ride around. Like, I would eat it right
if
there.
anything, I could see you like running into a curb or like running into a car.
I don't want to do either of those.
Falling on your head? I don't.
No, I'm not worried about I mean, a helmet would be nice. I'm just saying, like, I didn't have any protective equipment to like try something out for the first time.
Did you tell the guy, sorry, I don't have any protection?
I said it just like that.
Okay.
No, I just told him like, no, I really appreciate that. I don't feel like I do. I don't know how to ride a skateboard anyways.
Okay.
Dude.
Next time I see somebody, maybe I'll just pull over and be like, hey, you can drive my car. Let me ride that real quick.
Well, I think everyone's like enthusiastic about it. Like the one wheel guys are really pumped about the one wheels.
Okay.
So I think they want to spread the love.
Yeah.
Like, so they would let you ride it.
So it's like it has a following.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Die hard.
So like kind of like people with their cars, like Jeep people like to talk to Jeep people about their Jeeps and stuff, Okay.
Yeah. And, it's really good in the video community too. A lot of videographers use it for like a steady, because you can go off road with them.
Okay.
So that's a big thing.
Can you? I didn't know that.
That's a big selling point for them is off-roading.
Yeah.
It has a big one wheel and you can get like a traction wheel for it.
Okay.
And the electric skateboards can't go off-road unless you get the off-road version.
Yeah.
So it's a cool hybrid that you can ride off-road with it.
Now, are they a solid tire or do they have air?
I think it's air.
Okay.
I think it has air.
Okay.
And the motor's built into the wheel.
Okay.
And basically that's what it is. It's the motors in the wheel and the batteries are on the board under the board.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody would let you ride for sure. We need to ride one.
Yeah.
I know. So I want one, but I don't have any business like going downtown. I mean, I go downtown.
Yeah,
but
you have no business going down there.
I have no business going downtown.
Oh, so did you hear that they're blocking off downtown slow to put seating out there so
That's
people can
cool.
sit and eat?
Yeah.
I think there's something behind this.
You're already upset about downtown slow because there's no parking.
Right.
To you.
I hate downtown slow. Let me just tell you, there's no worse traffic than downtown slow. It's as bad as LA.
Okay, for the viewers, we live in a very small town. This town, San Luis Obispo, has
It's overpopulated. Thank God for the coronavirus. But
it has 40,000 residents. 30,000 of that is the school.
yes.
So there's only like 10 to 20, maybe.
It's terrible. It's awful. But I
It's
think
not that
they're
There's
blocking
never traffic.
I think they're blocking downtown to stop the protesters. That's what I think.
They're not going to be open like that all night.
Yeah, they said that it's going to be it's a year trial. They're going to leave everything out, blocking the streets for a year.
I mean, people can still protest.
Yeah, but they're not going to because everybody's going to be sitting out there eating.
Yeah, that's the perfect time to protest.
No, they're trying to divert the protests somewhere away from the downtown.
No, they've been
area.
talking about this for a long time, and a lot of other towns have already done this.
I think that's what they're doing.
Santa Barbara did it already. They did it before the protests.
Well,
and when we were in Santa Barbara,
we're not talking about Santa Barbara. We're talking about SLO.
Basically, SLO is a mini Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's my opinion. That's what I think.
That's a silly opinion.
Well,
that's what I think about that.
Yeah.
I would love to ride my one wheel down to it.
Cool. Well, get one.
I want one. If I quit the hospital and work on my own, I'd get one.
Okay.
Because then I could cruise downtown.
You still can cruise downtown.
I can walk, I can ride my bike, and I can drive.
Yeah.
But I can't one wheel downtown yet until I have one wheel.
Until you quit the hospital.
Well, I don't have any business downtown.
Oh my gosh. All right. I've got a question, and I know you don't know the answer, so we're going to have to Google it.
Oh, I know you don't know the answer.
What does ABEC stand for? That's my question. I have one question. There's one thing
related?
that I don't know about skateboards, and it's what ABEC stands for.
Is that skateboard related?
Yeah. So when you buy, mine's going blank. I don't know why I keep hitting the table. I'm just like, the bearings. So they come in, they're ABEC 5, ABEC 7 or something like that. I don't know what ABEC stands for.
It's probably some like rating system.
It is a rating system, but what does ABEC stand for?
All right, why don't you look it up? It
All
seems
right.
like something that you're interested in.
You're not.
I don't even know what it is.
This
This is Zach's episode. He's been waiting every day for this to be his. This is your time.
Okay, what does ABEC 7 mean? ABEC scale is an industrial accepted standard for the tolerance of a ball bearing.
Oh, okay. So it's a tolerance of a ball bearing.
It was developed by Annular Bearing Engineering Company. Of the American Bearing Manufacturers Association. Due to the factors in ABEC 3, classified bearing performs better than an ABEC 7 bearing. Oh, I didn't know that. So you want to get the smallest ABEC as possible. I always thought it was vice versa.
You want those big bearings.
It's very
But you want the
interesting.
small bearings.
So ABEC
really.
5s are better than ABEC 7.
That's interesting.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, you would think big ball bearings would have less issues.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You do learn something every day on this podcast. I had something more to say about the one wheels, but I forgot. Those electric skateboards were really popular for a long time.
Yeah. I'd love to get one.
Well, I think the one wheels destroyed that.
You think so?
Marketplace. Yeah. One wheels are crazy popular.
I just don't see why people would want the one wheel over. Well, I guess the off-roading is pretty cool.
Off-roading is cool.
They can't be as stable as a regular skateboard.
I don't really know.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Lords of Dogtown?
The Lords of Dogtown. No, is that a movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's a movie, but it was so in the 70s, there was a group of skater. Well, it was a skateboard team that was formed in Venice Beach, California. Mm-hmm. And it was Zephyr Surf Company that was the sponsor. It was their team.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I forget what year it was exactly. It might have been 73 or something. There was a big drought in California, and they had everybody drain their swimming pools, or I don't know if they had them drain it, but they weren't letting people fill their swimming pools up.
Yeah.
And so what happened was people decided that they'd start riding skateboards in it, and it became this huge thing. And that's how the X Games came out of that. Yeah. And that movie's kind of just based on like how they took skateboarding was kind of like a tradition. There was a traditional way of skateboarding, and then they formed it to a different,
more of like a competitive,
more
sport,
like aggressive
tricks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it shows the development of that in the major.
This is an old movie, right?
Yeah, it came out.
I think
in 2001 or 2004 or something.
I have seen this. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I remember this plot.
Tony Alva,
Yeah.
Jay Adams, and Stacy Peralta.
It's been a long time, but yeah.
And Stacy Peralta actually has a house in Cayucas.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, he ended up becoming, he owns, he started the Bones Brigade, which was like the second coming of the Zephyr skate team.
Okay.
So that was where you got Tony Hawk from and all those other big names.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting when you look at the history of skateboarding.
That is really cool. Yeah, it's interesting to look at the history of everything, or just all the things that we take for granted these days.
Yeah.
Right. In a similar vein is the Hobie company, switching
I know
from
nothing about the Hobie.
Oh,
company.
really?
Yeah.
Well, Hobie Cat, right? Do you know about Hobie Cats?
No.
So a Hobie Cat is a super popular catamaran sailboat.
Okay.
Like those 18-foot catamaran. You know what a catamaran is, right? So that was really popular, but Hobie got started doing surfboards.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so he was making surfboards, and then he saw like, oh man, it's like a mini documentary I watched on it a while back, but he kind of saw like a new competitive like scene opening up in California.
Okay.
And he started making these catamaran sailboats, and they would haul like they were really fast and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he just like tapped into this market that was untapped, and then that's why Hobie's like this incredible huge brand.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
I know
you know Hobie, right?
Yeah. So my sister-in-law and her fiance, they have two Hobie not paddle boards, kayaks.
Yeah.
And they've got their pedal
Yeah.
drive. They're awesome. They freaking fly.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that they made kayaks.
Yeah.
But the other day I was at the thrift shop and they had Hobie skis.
That's cool.
And I should have bought them.
Yeah.
They're probably worth some money.
Maybe.
But yeah, I didn't know that they made skis. That was
they started out making a lot of different water sport stuff.
okay.
But then I think probably skis and all sorts of stuff with fiberglass and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really incredible California entrepreneur kind of.
Okay, so that
engineer.
they're based out of California.
Yeah,
then? Okay.
yeah.
Sweet.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Man, I think that was a documentary I watched. I gotta figure out what that was. Yeah, it's super cool. I love like little sailboat stuff. I really want a Hobie Cat.
We used to have a sailboat, right?
Yeah, I used to have a little 13-foot Flying Junior is what they call it. Flying Junior. So
nice.
FJ.
Okay.
And it was a collegiate like sailing competition class.
Okay.
But now they have a different, like it's a little bit bigger competition college stuff.
Okay. Did you ever sell in a competition?
No, they have it out here though. I could have entered it out here.
So
in Morro Bay.
when I was in Long Beach, it was probably about a year ago now. They were teaching kids how to sail, and I bet you there's 50 kids out there selling.
Yeah, there's some awesome kids sailing in Morro Bay too.
Yeah, nice.
I wanted to bring it out. I had it right before I moved, and my car wasn't gonna make it out, and that had the trailer hitch.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm moving out to California. I don't know if I'm gonna need this, and we had to get rid of it
because there's no water in California.
I don't know why I didn't. I'm actually really sad. No, we're Savannah and I are both sad about it because we moved to Morro Bay the first year I was out here.
Yeah.
Incredible sailing stuff right there.
Yeah.
I could have
you
stored
could have
it.
sailed all around the bay. That would have been awesome.
I could have stored it at the Morro Bay Yacht Club for pretty cheap if you joined their club. And then I had a carport. Yeah. And I got a truck. I could have easily have gotten a hitch for that truck and pulled it out.
Yeah.
And now we really want one, and I'm just sad we don't have one.
Well, you can buy one.
I told you that story though. I drove from Georgia to Lake Michigan. No, Lake Erie.
Okay.
Lake Erie, and there's an island in Lake Erie that I had to take a ferry to. to pick up this boat.
No.
It took me 14 hours to drive from Georgia
Oh my gosh.
to the Walmart before the ferry. And then the next day I had to hop on I think an hour-long ferry to get to the island. I bought it.
You really wanted that thing.
I know. I scoured the internet for it. I bought it off some little old lady that was like, we can't sail it anymore. And I grabbed it and I drove another 14 hours back. Well, I drove to Indianapolis on my uncle there and then kept driving.
That's crazy.
And then we had this cute little boat. So we were in love with the boat. Like, it was a really cute boat.
Did you name it?
Her name was Nova.
Nova.
Because she was made in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to post a picture of Nova on the Instagram.
Yeah, I'd like to see your boat.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was the story of my little boat.
Now, did you ever have like a little trolling motor or anything? Or just
we were thinking about getting one for it later in its life. Like, we had it for a year or two. And, yeah, I mean, we were going to eventually.
Yeah.
Because actually, like, coming in, you had to paddle in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, like, you'd lower the sail, and that's the time when you would just drop the motor. But
yeah.
we would just, like, paddle in the rest of the way.
Okay.
But I was getting really skilled at it. And I could, like, come in with the sails up, and I would come into, like the dock, and I would, like, wait for it, and I'd be like, all right, down the sails, pull the sails down, and we just, like, slip right in.
Nice.
I was getting good at it.
Cool.
I was getting really good at it.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing was so much fun. When you're out, have you been on a sailboat?
No, never.
Ah, dude, sailing's fun. When you're out there, because the motor's off,
Right.
it's silent.
Oh, I bet.
Like, you hear the wind
Yeah.
hitting the
The
sail.
water just loop, loop, loop.
Yeah, it's, like, eerily silent,
Yeah.
but, like, super peaceful at the same time.
Cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, if I get a Hobie Cat, I'll take you out.
So
'Cause I think you can fit like
Sweet.
4 people on those things.
Okay.
And then, have you seen like people ride those things? It's an intense water sport. It goes really fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they hang off the side of it.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Whenever you're thinking about buying that boat and living aboard,
Oh yeah.
dude, I was just like, that would be so freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And what would be super cool is just like go out and like go over to Santa Barbara for the day
Yeah,
and then come back.
Dude, don't talk me into it. Yeah.
Like, how cool would that be? Like you could probably get over to Santa Barbara in like 45 minutes, I bet.
Okay. Let me tell that story. So when I first moved out here, I was super obsessed with sailing because I had that little boat.
Right.
And Sven and I were like, we're going to have a boat together and we're going to just like live on a boat and sail around. And California, the ocean, it's right there.
Right.
So we were going to do it. We bought a boat, literally put money down. We bought it.
It was expensive. Wasn't it
It was
like
16
30?
grand.
Okay. 16.
It wasn't that expensive. 16 grand. And then our mentality was our rent equaled 18 grand.
Yeah.
So technically this is cheaper than a year's of rent.
Right.
So if we could just live on this thing for a year, it's the same cost as rent.
Right.
So, right. Like
Yeah.
that's a pretty good deal. Right.
Mhm.
So if we could, you didn't like, maybe it's just a year experience, you
Right.
know, and then move back to land, whatever.
Yeah.
But then if we liked it, we could keep going and save a lot of money.
I feel like if you did that for a year, you just do it for the
You
rest
just
of your
keep
life
doing
or
it. Yeah,
whatever,
yeah. So yeah, that was the idea. Because beachfront property anywhere is extremely expensive.
Yeah, it's next to impossible.
So park your boat. You have the best beachfront property. You're literally on the water.
Yeah.
So that was the idea. Like you would be able to be at the beach all the
Yeah.
time. You know, you have your boat. You could take the boat out on the weekends.
You're right by downtown.
You're right by downtown.
All the restaurants.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you didn't even have to have that slip downtown. You could have those slips on the side there.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, cruise to Santa Barbara. It would take you like a full day to sail down there, but it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
A really fun trip. And you could cruise over to Avila.
Yeah.
Which would take you no time, like
Yeah.
a couple hours. Dude, it would be so cool.
It would not take you a couple hours to get over to Avila.
Sailing, yeah.
Oh, sailing.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Not driving.
Cool.
Sailing.
Yeah. Is
So
it
yeah,
driving?
to sail around all the way to, like, you have to sail out past Diablo and back in.
Yeah.
It would take some time. Yeah. Oh man, I wanted to do it,
Yeah.
but it was gonna be hard. And then we've talked about like our music equipment and all of our video equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe one day, who knows?
Yeah.
She still wants to do it.
It'd be awesome.
She would do it in a heartbeat.
Really?
If I said, let's do it. We need a bigger boat though. If we bought it was a 30-foot boat. 30 feet is short in a sailboat.
Is
It's not short in a catamaran.
I didn't know that was a sailboat.
It was a sailboat, yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was a motorboat.
Yeah. Sailboats are like monohulls are tight.
Okay.
And then, but if it was a 30-foot catamaran, that's huge.
Yeah.
So like basically you can cut off like 10 feet of a catamaran, or like a 40-foot monohull is like the size of a 25 to 30-foot catamaran.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So anyways, it turns out we couldn't live aboard, and we had to ask the guy to give our money back.
You're so lucky they gave you your money back.
Well,
Can you imagine if he was just like, sorry?
We only put a deposit down.
Oh, okay.
So,
but didn't you like start ripping down stuff off the walls and stuff?
we were like going to convert it to like how we wanted it. That was a rough time.
Didn't you like throw all of his stuff away?
And then I dug it out of the dumpster to put it back in. Crazy story. Oh my gosh. And Savannah came out and spent her spring break doing that.
Oh, really?
So she wasted a week of her life doing that.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, that's that. Well,
that's
okay.
a good story, right?
Yeah,
there.
that's a good story. We talked about a bunch of stuff on this episode.
Yeah, and like barely talked about a skateboard.
No, we talked about a lot of
We
it.
talked about the one wheel, which probably isn't even considered a skateboard.
It's a surf skateboard.
What are those considered, actually?
It's one wheel. It's its own thing.
It's its own thing.
It really is its own thing.
Yeah.
Unicycle, maybe. Unicycle board?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, again, join our Patreon. Thanks for watching us on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you're listening to us, go head over to YouTube, like and subscribe. Do all the things. Comment on there. Say hey. Say if you want us to lower the Patreon to $1.
Yes.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, all the places. And just say hey. We'd love to talk to you. If you have a bet that we should bet on that we probably don't know,
Yeah.
throw it up there. We got the Better Not Podcast at gmail.com. That's our email address. You can email any questions there. And we just thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time.
What about our bet for next time?
Well, what is our bet for next time?
Our bet for next time. What do we got on there?
Skateboard. Skunks.
Skunks. We're talking about skunks.
Skunks. What are we talking about for skunks?
The
Tell me
bet
about it.
is
What's the chemical?
is there yeah, I think so.
All right.
Is the chemical the smell of the chemical?
Okay.
The smell of the chemical, is it the same chemical that's in marijuana? Because they have a very similar smell, right?
Yeah. So when you're driving on the highway, you're like, what is that smell?
Yeah. Is it weed or is it
Is it the
a
guy in
skunk?
front of me smoking weed, or is it a skunk that's dead somewhere
Right.
nearby?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's really interesting. Why do they smell so similar? Because they smell very similar.
Right.
I want to know information about that in general.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no, it's not the same chemical.
I'll say yes. Why not?
Well, actually, yeah. Actually, that's interesting because the chemical that makes it smell might be in weed too. It's not going to be THC or
Right.
the other one. What's the other one? THC and
Plant.
BPH?
I have no
No,
idea.
that's plastic.
yeah.
THC and all of our weed smokers are gonna come at us now.
We're finally gonna get comments.
Yeah. THC is the hallucinogenic part of it.
Hallucinogenic.
Is the drug part of it,
Right.
and then CBD. CBD
Oh,
is the
okay, yeah.
medicinal part of it.
Yeah.
So it's probably not one of those. It's probably something else.
Yeah. I don't know.
It might be the same chemical. Well, we'll have to listen next week to find out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's next week. Again, thanks for listening.
Peace.
Peace. The Better Not Podcast is Will Cobb and Zach Freeman, produced by Cobblestone Productions. All the music you hear in the show is written by Will Cobb and mixed by Chad Mcilvenna. Thank you so much to Savannah, my wife, for singing on all the tracks that you hear. We post our episodes now on YouTube. Go head over there and subscribe to us and like our video. And don't forget to sign up for patreon.com/betternot and support us for $5 a month. It goes a long way for helping us out. Thank you so much for listening, and see you in the next one.